The White House retreats from its doomsday spending cut predictions, but keeps the blame on the Republicans. And if you've been following any of this news, um, you kind of know that they are kind of tripping. And what's really going on with this sequester is that a lot of spending cuts are happening, and the White House kind of gave the picture that this thing was going to be disastrous. And people are actually thinking it's not, because March 1st hit, March 2nd is hit, March 3rd is hit, and I think today is the 4th. So everybody's kind of like, not bad, you know what I'm saying? I still got my job, I still got money in the bank, I'm cool. And, the sequester to me is kind of like a bullet, one of those silencers. And you never heard it go off, you never heard, but boom, you've been hit kind of. But you're checking around the room and is everybody okay? And everybody's okay. So you're like, okay, so I must be okay. You're only going to find later that you've been bleeding to death. And that's what this thing is going to do. You're talking about stopping $85 billion worth of money. And so it's not a weak deal. It's not something that people should just roll over. Now, the White House did make it seem like it was going to be deadly, and I think it will be once it really starts to take impact. April, May, June of 2013. So, I don't think it's time to relax and say, you see, it wasn't that bad, because it's not over. It's not over. So, the White House is kind of saying, hey, it's going to take a little time before we start to really feel this. There's a lot in jeopardy. The Republicans are still to blame for this. Let's not throw this on President Obama's watch just because it happened during his time in office. Because billions of dollars in cuts applied to the remainder of the fiscal 2013 year, which ends in September 30th. So that's a lot of time to really start to feel the effects of this. But in reality, this is like a house that's overspun. We've overspun our stuff. So now all of a sudden you're saying, okay, going to the movies, going out, buying new clothes, the new shoes you get every month, and all this kind of stuff is out. It's out. And so your house is going to feel it. You're going to be like, man, we don't got no cable. I can't watch the game. I can't watch a movie. Netflix is cut off. And whatever else you got, all this is cut off. And then maybe some of the bigger things like, dude, I can only have like one bowl of cereal a day because the milk goes by that fast. Or, one bowl of, one serving of dinner, so I can't go back and get seconds and thirds. So this is what this sequester is going to do over time. It's going to stop all that, crazy, frivolous spending that, we've gotten accustomed to. And it's going to start to help us back away from all that so that we're spending money in a more efficient manner. Because you can't go on like how you're in a deficit, you're not going to make it like that. So it's really a budget control act. In my book, Life's a Game to Win, chapter 11 talks about budgeting for the future. You have to start to budget, especially once you're going over, once you're doing things that are not going to be conducive to the household. And that's what the United States is doing. We can come up with a good budget. So what we're doing is saying, F it. Slash all this nonsense that we have, and some of it is not nonsense. It just fits under the banner of all the things that they're slashing, and it could be very harmful for some people, because some people might be getting checks that are going to get stopped. Housing, government programs that can get stopped. You're talking about jobs. If you associate with a government job that's under that banner, you might not have a job for 6 months, or you might have to do furlough for 6 months until a budget is put together. So, this is it's serious, but I think everybody can make it through. We just have to be very wise and adjust a lot of the things that we're used to. And that's the problem for a lot of people, because they don't know how to or want to adjust their lifestyle. They can't go back to living, a certain way once they've portrayed or made themselves look like they were living a certain way. So, the White House is kind of retreating, saying, "Look, it's not the end of the world, but it's still going to be hard. And when it's hard, remember, the Republicans are to blame." So that's the sequestration, and the economy is probably not going to affect big business, normal business, but it will affect, some of those government funded organizations. So that's Due Daniels. Leave a comment below and all that other stuff. So that we, if you have any questions and stuff like that. I'm not a financial guy. I just been reading the news on it and sharing what I know about it. All right. See y'all next time.